Hello, a very good morning. You're watching World is One News. I am Shivangi Shukla, and in the next 30 minutes, we'll take you through all the top stories on WION Speed News. According to media reports, US President Donald Trump has proposed holding the second summit talks with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in mid-February and suggested Vietnam as a venue, citing officials. Japan News media reports said that North Korea is said to be reviewing the US proposal and has yet to give a formal response. Paris police fired water cannon and tear gas to push back Yellow Vest demonstrators from around the Arc de Triomphe monument during the protest against French President Emmanuel Macron's economic reforms. Thousands of protesters in Paris marched noisily but most peacefully, but small groups of demonstrators broke away from the designated route and threw bottles and other projectiles at the police. Groups of protesters also gathered around the Champs-Élysées, many of them calling loudly for Macron to resign. Now, French firefighters rescued residents from damaged buildings near the site of a massive gas explosion in central Paris shopping district. 4 people, including 2 firefighters and a Spanish woman, died in the blast and nearly 50 people were injured. Police said the explosion tore apart a bakery on the ground floor of the building in the area. Witnesses said the force of the blast shattered nearby storefronts and rock buildings hundreds of meters away. Now, members of the Air Traffic Control Association were joined by airport workers, pilots, flight attendants and other members of the air traffic industry at the U.S. Capitol to protest government shutdown. U.S. airport security workers and air traffic controllers working without pay have been warning that security and safety could be compromised if the government shutdown continues. Thousands of workers who staff control towers and security lines have been working with no pay since the start of the stalemate over President Donald Trump's demand for a border wall. The 18-year-old Saudi woman Rahaf Mohammed Al Kunoon, who fled her family this week saying she feared for her life, has received a hero's welcome at the Toronto's International Airport. She was greeted by Canadian Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland, who called a brave new Canadian. A woman has been granted asylum by Canada. The woman grabbed international attention this week after she barricaded herself in a Bangkok airport hotel room to resist being sent home to the family, which denies any abuse. Now, 5 people were killed in clashes between the police and gunmen who attacked a police station in Afghanistan's western Herat province. According to Herat governor, 2 gunmen who stormed the building killed 3 policemen, a civilian and a child. 4 policemen were also wounded before the attackers were killed. Members of the Afghan National Security Forces seized a vehicle packed with explosives from the attack site. Congolese opposition candidate Martin Fayulu, who came second in the presidential elections, has filed a complaint to the Constitutional Court in Kinshasa's Palace of Justice. Fayulu has called for a recount of the presidential votes. He said he came to the court on Saturday to ensure the complaint had been properly filed. The court now has 8 days to rule on the complaint. If Fayulu's opposition coalition claimed it won the election by a landslide with over 60% of the votes. The head of the U.S. Navy will visit his Chinese counterpart next week as the 2 powers seek to reduce military risks and ongoing trade tensions. A Chief of Naval Operations Admiral John Richardson will travel to Beijing from January 13 to 16, when he will meet the Vice Admiral Shen Jin-long, who commands the People's Liberation Army Navy. At least 17 people died and 12 others were injured in a fire at a drug rehabilitation center in Ecuador's largest city. The fire started when patients set mattresses ablaze to try to escape from the clinic, which lacked the necessary permits. Such makeshift treatment centers are common in the Andean country. Police are seeking the arrest of the owners and operators of the clinic. The Australian Foreign Minister has raised concerns about Bahraini refugee player Hakeem Al-ariabi, who faces possible deportation from Thailand. Thai authorities arrested Al-ariabi, who plays in Australia and where he has refugee status. On arrival at a Bangkok airport in November, International Soccer's governing body FIFA says he should be freed and be allowed to return to Australia to continue his career. Al-ariabi was convicted of vandalizing a police station in Bahrain and sentenced to 10 years in prison as well. He has denied any wrongdoing. China's manned submersible finished its first diving this year in southwest Indian Ocean with a harvest of deep-sea samples. The submersible dived for over 9 hours to a depth of over 3,000 meters before returning with a rich harvest of deep-sea stones and creatures. Deep-sea stones collected weigh 170 kilograms, the heaviest collection by the submersible since it was put into operation. A senior commander of the Islamic State terror group has been killed in Afghanistan in a U.S. raid. The terrorist commander was killed in eastern area of Nangarhar province, according to the U.S. military. Khatab Emir, who was known by multiple names, facilitated high-profile attacks and supplied Islamic State fighters with weapons and materials to make explosives. Gasoline shortages in Mexico, sparked by a crackdown by fuel theft, prompted warnings from business leaders that industries like car making will suffer if the shortfalls persist as lines at gas stations in the capital grew. The drive to eradicate a crime that has deprived state coffers of billions of dollars is President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador's first major move against chronic corruption since taking office on December 1st. Palestinians took to the streets to march at the funeral of a 44-year-old woman killed by Israeli troops during Gaza border protest on Friday. The woman was shot in the head by Israeli army. Another 25 Palestinians were wounded by Israeli gunfire during their mass demonstrations, a weekly event along the border since March 30th. Israel's military said it opened fire in response to grenade and rocket attacks and breaches of the frontier. British protesters wearing yellow vests jackets marched through central London, demanding a general election 3 days before a crucial parliamentary Brexit deal vote. The protesters, angry with the Brexit negotiation process, chanted Theresa May has got to go and waved placards pleading and reading general elections now. Scuffles broke out during a pro-Brexit rally in London after hundreds of demonstrators wearing yellow vests took to the streets in UK capital. Police intervened after both pro and anti-Brexit protesters clashed near the Trafalgar Square. Earlier, pro-Brexit protesters rallied outside Downing Street, where they burned the flags and chanted anti-EU slogans, while some verbally abusing pro-European lawmakers as well. 3 people were killed and nearly 2 dozen injured when a double-decker bus struck a bus shelter in the Canadian capital of Ottawa during Russia. A part of the upper right side of the bus was shorn off in the collision at a busy transit station in the west end of the city. Now, the mayor has said that 23 people were injured in the collision, some very seriously, and taken to the hospital. The hospital confirmed on Twitter that it had received 9 patients in critical condition from the crash. Texas Democrat Julian Castro, a former San Antonio mayor, formally announced his White House bid, making him the first Hispanic in what looks to be a crowded field of candidates vying to challenge President Donald Trump in the November 2020 elections. Castro, the grandson of the Mexican immigrant, served as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under former President Barack Obama and has long been viewed as a rising star in the party. He will seek to position himself as a political outsider with liberal credentials.
Go Spurs, go.
South African President Ramaphosa has kicked off 2019 parliamentary elections campaign, promising to create more jobs, boost economic growth and address racial inequalities. The election expected in the May will be a test of whether Ramaphosa has been able to reverse a decline in support for the African National Congress, which has governed since the end of apartheid in 1994 but has seen its majority wane. Ramaphosa became the head of state in February last year after his allies at the ANC forced scandal-plagued Jacob Zuma to resign. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has slammed Congress over Ram Temple construction, saying the opposition party was trying to impede the judicial process for resolution of the matter. He also asked BJP workers to remind the masses about the Congress stand on the issue. In his concluding address at the BJP National Convention in New Delhi, PM Modi alleged that the Congress even tried to impeach former Chief Justice of India, Deepak Mishra, to delay the hearing in the case. Reacting to the SP-BSP alliance ahead of the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, Congress President Rahul Gandhi has said that the alliance of the two parties without the Congress is not a setback for his party, but stressed that the poll results would surprise people. The Congress president also said the results of the coming parliamentary elections will surprise Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who will not understand what has happened. Uttar Pradesh is considered the crucial place as it has 80 in the Lok Sabha seats, the maximum for any state. Devotees in large numbers gathered in Bodh Gaya for the inauguration of 3-day International Buddhist Festival that promotes religious tourism and commemorates the enlightenment of Lord Buddha. The annual festival was inaugurated by Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. As part of the festival, monks dressed in colourful traditional costumes performed sacred dances and rituals wearing masks representing the guardian deities. The chefs in Chennai city attempted to make a Guinness World Record by preparing world's longest dosa, a South Indian dish made from fermented batter of rice and black gram. A team of 60 experts led by renowned Chief Vinod made the long dosa, which was 100 feet long, and it was made over 37 kilograms of batter, green gram, millets, black gram, among other ingredients. The dosa was prepared on a 105 feet long pan. Prayagraj city in Uttar Pradesh state has turned into a canvas for all the painters and artists under government's Paint My City campaign that aims to tell the tale of the region to all its visitors coming to attend the ancient old Kumbh Mela. The Kumbh Mela is traditionally held every 3 years in one of the 4 cities along India's sacred rivers, with one of the largest in those is Prayagraj. The celebration attracts thousands of pilgrims and tourists from across the globe.